Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Shefali Srivastava, Marketing and Communication Manager at University Living. And today's session is centers around the land of saints and scholars. You don't have to guess, it was mentioned on the creative Ireland. Ireland is renowned for its educational excellence, and that is what we'll be discussing over here. For that, to discuss this further in detail, we have an expert panel with us, an amazing panel who will add their value. And please allow me to introduce our panel. We have Apeksha Singh, Regional Advisor, South Asia, National College of Ireland. Hi, Apeksha, welcome on board.
Hello, thank you.
Yeah, we have yeah. We have Jasmine Kaur, Marketing Development Advisor, Dublin University. Hi, Jasmine.
Hello, thank you.
We have Ishita Singh, Country Advisor, Technological University of Shannon, Midland, Midwest. Hi, Ishita.
Thank you so much for having me. Hi, thank you.
We have Aritra Ghoshal, Founder and Director of One Step Global. Hi,
Right.
Aritra.
Hi.
Welcome back once again.
Thanks.
We have Sarah O'Mani, Marketing Manager from Shannon College. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, how are you?
We are good, thank you. We have Asning Murray, General Manager, Beckett House.
Hi, thank you for hosting the event and for inviting me to participate.
Thank you so much for participating. And we have our very own Shraddha Padte, Manager Business Development, University Living. Hi, Shraddha.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. So I'll not take this further anymore. We'll definitely dive into the conversation, and attendees, you can ask your questions through Q&A, or just in case you can write in the chat box and we'll be happy to address. We'll start with one-on-one questions that we are going to ask to the universities, and in the last 15 minutes, we're going to address all the questions that you guys are going to be asking. It's a 1-hour session, so please do share your question latest by 5:40. Okay, so I'll start with you, Aritra. How would you describe Ireland as a student destination, and what makes Ireland different? Why an international student should consider Ireland?
Okay, so I didn't know that you will be discriminating first, just because I'm the only male member. Just put
no,
me on the spot
that's not
now.
the case, but yeah.
No, I think look, Ireland is when I started working with education in Ireland back then, people were, especially in India, people were thinking that it's a part of the UK. It's not. It's an independent country. It comes into the European Union, and it's called Republic of Ireland. So from there to now, things have changed, and Ireland has become predominantly a very popular destination among Indian students. The reason I think, and as an ex-international student who has studied abroad, I think Ireland offers a great value on education, return on investment. It's not the most expensive destination to go and study abroad, one. Second, the career opportunities, the career opportunities in Ireland. Ireland is one of the countries which are booming, especially in certain sectors like tech, finance, pharmaceuticals. So Indian students, when we talk to them, the first question they ask is that, can I get a job? And the answer is not a straightforward yes or no, but Ireland does offer you an opportunity definitely to have or ply your trade in Ireland. The people, I think, it really makes a difference, because I've worked in the UK, I've worked in other parts of this world as well. But while I have been working with Irish people and Ireland as a country, I think it's one of the warmest people. They're kind-hearted. They genuinely care for their international audience. That's a very, very comforting factor for parents, for students who are actually going and studying there. And this has been going on for a while, because in the last 7-8 years, ex-students have been talking to potentially current students, and they have the same experience to share. It's a safe, friendly country, English speaking. And I think the last thing will be that education, that the reason you are going there, superlative. I cannot stress this more. Even if you check, Indian students have a tendency to check rankings. Check the UN rankings. Okay, don't check some random, private company rankings. Check the UN rankings about education system in the world, and you will find Ireland in the top 10. I think the first half is all Nordic countries, then Japan, and then it comes with Ireland. So I think it just shows that it's a great place to study, to have your job, not very expensive. Also, there is a stay back opportunity for students, 2 years for master students, 1 year for undergraduate students. All these together, typically Indian mindset is very return on investment focused. You get your return on investment, and that's why I think Ireland has become a very, very popular destination. I'll also, ask my fellow panelists, to add on to this. But from my side, I think it's just one thing, that Indian students are smart buyers, and it perfectly fits the bill.
Right. Well, very well said. And I'll not discriminate this question. I know Aritra has already invited others to share their views. I'll also open this for anyone who's interested to share their views, because otherwise Aritra will again accuse me that I'm
No.
discriminating. No, jokes apart. But yeah, very well said. Ireland is very well known for their education system in the world. And even the rankings, of course, numbers, people do see it. Even in that case, if we see, we have very fine universities ranked in Ireland. Anyone interested in sharing some more views? Apeksha, Shita, Sharon, anyone? Yeah, Sharon, Sarah, please. Yeah.
I suppose just to add to that, I think something that is really nice about Ireland is our size. We are a small country, so for students who do come to study with us in Ireland, they do have great opportunities to explore the entire country. We're quite small, we're quite compact, so it means traveling around the entire country is quite easy by car or by bus. So I think that that ability to discover an entire country when you do come to us is really it's really nice and unique. And also I think we've become quite metropolitan. We're quite an advanced country, but I think we've also held on to some of our charm, so we are a small country. We have a very strong culture, a very strong history. And I think that's the combination of that metropolitan, urban cities, but also that kind of charm and really beautiful countrysides as well is obviously something that we'd be known for, the green fields and things like that. So that's just something I'd like to add.
No, that's actually very true. Aisling, I would like you to add a few points with respect to the accommodation part.
Because I think just to sort of further what Sarah was saying, we still have that. We're very proud of our reputation of being, the land of the 1,000 welcomes, and a lot of the student accommodations embrace that. Parto do definitely, and what we try to do is create a sense of community and enhance that shared experience. It's not, as Aritra said, about just going to college and learning and that end of things. It's about the whole experience and developing as a person, which again makes you more employable at the end of the day if you have that rounded education. And as I said, we're really proud of our reputation for 1,000 welcomes, and we really strive hard to make that a reality when the students come to live with us.
Great. I believe everyone has definitely established this, that Ireland is definitely a study destination for people, not just based on the ranking about studies, with respect to the career opportunities, with respect to of course, the beauty and everything, the culture over there, because these days culture matters a lot, whether you are in any part of, walk of life. Now I'll come to you, Ishita. COVID has changed a lot of things, and we have taken a 360 turn, especially into education industry, from on-campus classes, we went to hybrid, we went to virtual. What kind of situation you guys faced over there, and how did you handle it over there?
Yeah. Thank you for the question. I think it's more or less the same. I think, which is, it's a very unified, kind of a platform. You can say what world is going through, because if you talk about other countries like US, New Zealand, any country, they are on the same platform. It's virtual everywhere. So you got to differentiate yourself, how you can do that, and how, where's the catch with the students. But thankfully, there is, coming back, I'll just draw it from the first question. When it comes to culture, we definitely focus on that, and where we've conducted series of webinars, which the HODs of each department, along with the professors, they conducted. They spoke to they had a one-on-one conversation with all the attendees as well. When they wanted to ask questions, we left the platform, to ask the professors directly instead of just leaving it out on the chat. So that kind of boosted up a bit, a bit as well. And the culture which we were talking about in our previous question, it is very I think it also plays an important role, because when it comes to Ireland and India, it's very common. People are very friendly when it comes to both the countries. So that is something which is shared. So students are very comfortable when they want to reach out to a university representative or anybody at the college. It's There's no hesitation now. Virtual, I think has given us that much of leverage. And when it came to other things, like how we could we had different policies wherein 100% refund was available for the students who were not able to make it because of COVID. There were certain students, because suddenly, because last year's pandemic was really bad for most of us. So there were few students who would drop out at the end of it, even after paying the fees, but they had valid reasons. So, we had given them leverage, because we had such COVID policies. We did give them a bit of more time on the documentation as well. You can submit your documents a little bit later, not the major, maybe the passing certificate or any of the missing documents, even after they have arrived in Ireland, because the universities were taking time because they can't visit the university. And, we had given them that much of leverage that even on the fees also, the loans were processed a bit later. So these were the certain things, adding to it, that, which kind of, had students had faith in us, and they wanted to come, and we were not just sticking to our deadline. We did extend it for them. So yeah.
Right. During COVID, everyone has gone beyond what they were promising and everything. Apeksha and Jasmine, I'll come to you with a similar question. Post-pandemic, many policies might have been amended at your end, right? So what kind of policies are there which are benefiting international students? If you guys can highlight one by one. Apeksha, you can start.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Just adding to what Ishita said. So speaking on the terms of academics, we provided a lot of flexibility in terms of them starting online completely. So they could do their first semester online, and they could travel whenever they wanted, like in the period of 30 days or 60 days, the visa was provided to them. Also, we provided visa extensions. As Ishita said, there were very challenges when it came to accommodation findings, and because they don't know anything about it when the thing have become virtual. So about accommodations, loan process, everything took longer, and that resulted in visas coming later, very close to the course start date. So we have also provided flexibility and the visa extensions to them. Many more things in campus, like obviously all of us, I'm sure we are on the same page of talking about the hybrid mode that we have all done for our universities and institutions. So that's something that people are slowly getting comfortable with, because I remember the last January that we had this session, and it's this January. So I see a lot of difference in students and the kind of comfort that they have gained. So yeah, these are the points I would like to highlight, especially in terms of NCI. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Apeksha. Jasmine, you would like to add something?
Yeah, I actually absolutely agree with my fellow colleagues there, with Ishita and Apeksha. Most of the Irish University have adopted pretty much the same policy. When we talk about Dublin City University, we have also adopted the policy of providing extension to our students. We have given them a flexibility if they're not able to be on campus for the first semester. We've given an extension for a month to join, and then they can take that 1 month of lecture sitting in their home country, and when they join the university, they can join from the second month. So that kind of flexibility was one of the options, one of the experience that we wanted our students to have, so that they don't feel that they are missed out because of the pandemic and challenges they are facing this year. And absolutely, you know, we as a university, we had a student extended support that we have given to our students in terms of if anybody falls sick on campus, they just have to come to Advice Center, a specific health center that's dedicated to COVID challenges. They just have to come there. They just have to tell them, you know, I've got a flu. Maybe they could just have to set up a Zoom session and they say, I've got flu. So there will be somebody, if he's staying on campus, they will come on campus. They'll probably, you know, see their symptoms, recommend them what are the right health, what are right things they need to do, and you know, in terms of isolation. So all these kind of services were there available on campus. They don't really have to feel that they have to really move out of the campus for any kind of these services. And when students were really, another thing is when students were really making an application, we also give them a flexibility where they're able to get the full offer letters with the, I would say, 8th semester or with 6th semester mark sheets. So they were able to file their visas with the condition of a letter, and the offer letter was made firm based on the trust with their previous performance, and giving them a deadline that once they have the final scores and once they have the final provisional degrees with the university, they will, you know, during the orientation or after a month after that, they will be providing that kind of documentation to us. So we, as all of the institutions, we have given that flexibility, and yes, that's one of the most of the policies that we have adopted for our students.
Thank you, Jasmine. Sarah, would you like to add something which you guys did at Shannon College?
Yeah, I suppose a lot of the of what my colleagues and panelists have mentioned here. So in terms of flexibility with arriving on campus, with hybrid teaching models, those student supports in terms of their well-being and their welfare. Something I suppose that we did as well that's probably more on that well-being side of things was we have always had a very strong push for mentorship in our college. We've always had a mentor system where, you know, particularly for our undergraduate students, where senior students will mentor our younger students that have just started. But during COVID, I suppose we kind of pushed that a little bit further, and we created a mentor system for all of our undergraduate students. So each of our students would have had a member of staff that they would have as a mentor. So they had somebody that they could go to if there was any concern, you know, any worries that they might have, if there was any uncertainties, because it was a very uncertain time, and particularly for international students who were with us in Ireland and away from their families, and it was a difficult time. So I think that mentor program was something that I think we will keep on in Shannon. Yeah, so I think that's something that maybe one silver lining for the pandemic, that it's just an additional support on top of the other mentorships that were on campus.
Right. Well, actually, you know, yeah.
Sorry, can I quickly add a couple of more points? You know, as Ireland
Sure.
did, I think one will be the pandemic unemployment pay. I don't think any other, you know, major destinations ever have paid international students some kind of bursary when they lost their jobs, or part-time or full-time jobs, pick up and drop, you know, from the airports. I don't think, again, it was more of a government initiative that happened. Even I know that certain universities have dropped food items to individual, you know, Shannon College being one, you know, they actually catered to their own students, you know, they dropped food items in their individual apartments where they were quarantining. So I think overall, as we discussed, that is a land of thousand welcome, it just proves by the action of all the universities, colleges, but also as a country, that they stood by the international students. And they were the first person to, you know, actually take Covishield on their list, because none of them were actually taking Covishield as a vaccine only because it's the name of AstraZeneca in India is called Covishield, but nobody actually were accepting this vaccine, you know, but Ireland was the first country to actually accept this vaccine. So all these things put together, you know, it just shows that there's a lot of care for international students, especially during these times. Sorry, I just spoke out of turn.
Thank you so much for adding. And of course, the payment part that you mentioned, that they were paid, that's actually a great help for anyone who's away from home. Aisling, I would like if you can share some, you know, highlight how you guys managed for the students who were there at your accommodation during this COVID times.
It was extremely challenging, and to be honest, it was quite sad a lot of the time, because we had a lot of students that ended up getting stranded who really wanted to go home and couldn't. So, you know, obviously we introduced a lot of flexibility, and we focused on the well-being of the students. You can see behind me, that's actually the rooftop of Beckett House. And it was the most wonderful facility, because it meant that people could get outside safely, spectacular views, and get fresh air. And from a mental health perspective, it was invaluable. We also did lots of, online events, and we had, virtual friending, and we had yoga classes. We literally did everything. But the one thing that really worked out well, and that the students, the feedback from the students has been super, is we put together what we called Go Packs. So for people who were quarantining, who had COVID, they couldn't get out to, wash their sheets or anything like that. So we put together these Go Packs that had fresh linen, that had fresh towels, toiletries, and we put packs of cards, because we figured, people would be getting bored watching, their iPad, or if they weren't feeling well, the last thing you want to be doing is looking at a little screen. So we put together these Go Packs with water and everything, and we actually put in little boxes of pasta, and whatever we could do to support the students. That's what we did.
Right. At university living, we have this saying, safe home from every student, and you guys are actually making it accomplish over there. You guys are actually executing it over there, whether it is at the college or whether it is the accommodation. I would like come to you, Jasmine. We are already getting questions on this part, and slowly and gradually I'll come to each university. So what are the best courses to study in Ireland? And you can share 2 top courses from your particular university.
So when I say that what are the most competitive or one of the most demanded courses when it comes to Ireland or when it comes to Dublin as destination, it's definitely in the streams of computing. So, it's a mindset in India that when you talk about Ireland as destination, it always comes with something related to data analytics, or will always come to something related to artificial intelligence. So in Dublin City University, we have a master's in computing, in which we have 3 of the specializations. So we have data analytics, artificial intelligence, secure software engineering. That is one of the most popular courses in India. And the second course I would say is our course in our business school. That's a blend of technical and management side. That's called Masters in Management Business. So this one is something that's very similar to business analytics, or something very similar to project management. So these 2 are the top and the popular courses where we receive a lot of students and a lot of questions from India. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Jasmine. Ishita?
Yes, I think my answer is similar to Jasmine, but yeah. So basically, what we've seen the pattern is data analytics and biopharma has been, the top of our programs. A lot of students from India have opted for data analytics when they are from the science background, sorry, and from the nursing background or for the biopharma. But we've seen the pattern of students now opting for specialized courses. We do have software design courses like artificial intelligence, cloud native computing, cybersecurity. So students are opting for such courses as well, because these are high demand courses, and there are a lot of job opportunities across Ireland.
Yes, I was on mute. Sorry, Apeksha.
Yeah, sure. I'm just going to repeat the same things, because that people know Ireland for computing especially, but also there are many fields which are not identified by the students, which are definitely very, very good in the standards. But when we talk about NCI, definitely data analytics, cloud computing, cybersecurity. One course I would like to highlight, which is very upcoming and is great, which is MSc in FinTech. So that is something that we are seeing a lot of demands from the student as they understand the combination of finance and technology. So yeah.
Right, thank you. Sarah, is your answer is also similar, or you have some other course also available?
Well, I suppose I'm coming from the College of Management, so ours are a little bit different. We're a part of NUI Galway, which is one of Ireland's universities. And in NUI Galway, yes, of course, the popular ones are the data analytics, business analytics, computer science, those areas. But I suppose from my own school, the ones I would like to highlight maybe is we have an undergraduate program, which is a Bachelor of Business Studies in International Hotel Management. And that combines, a very strong business education with all of the soft skills required for hospitality, learning all the people skills that you need for working in those environments. And because our students are graduating with the Bachelor of Business Studies degree, it means that they have great opportunities in all areas of business. And our graduates from these programs are really highly sought after across the hospitality field, but also across many other businesses as well. All of our undergraduate programs also have paid work placements included in them. So our students would have 21 months of paid work placement while they're actually studying with us on those undergraduate programs. So something that makes them a little bit unique.
Great. So I believe the people who are asking this question about training courses in the chat box, I believe right now your questions are answered. Now I'll come to you, Aritra. All these courses are only foundation to have a better career opportunity. So ultimately, everything comes down that what kind of career opportunities are available at Ireland. You have already mentioned that there are some very good opportunities, but if you can elaborate a little bit more on that particular note.
I think, tech is definitely one. It's called the Silicon Valley of Europe, but I think we have overran with the tech story, and that's why all the participants are saying data analytics or cloud computing. But look, every technology company in the world will still need people to sell the technology. So people who are going for management or international business, Microsoft needs people to sell their product, right? So all those graduates, because I can see that some people are asking about management and international business and all those. So I think it's good for business studies also. It's not only tech. Pharmacy, supply chain, hospitality, because post-Brexit, this remains pretty much, there is Malta, I know, but pretty much the only English-speaking country in Europe. And a lot of companies who has a multicultural or a multinational ethnicity, in their own workforce, will choose Dublin over any other European city. It has already started. JP Morgan has moved so a lot of jobs from London to Dublin. So I think if I have to name top three, it's very difficult. But only one thing I can tell Indian students is that every institution that you go and join, two things that they do very, very thoroughly is one is your profile development. So CV writing, covering letter, this, that, all those things, and networking. So they will actually bring companies on their, be it virtually or be it physically, on their campuses. They'll make you meet them. They'll make you have an interaction with them. But, Indian students have a question that, is there a campusing, like what happens in India, right? No, there isn't. There is not a job guarantee that you will get a job as soon as you go and study data analytics at one of these institutions. There isn't. But there's all sorts of help for you to meet the right employment. And most of the colleges and universities have some kind of, engagement with the industry. Either they have associate faculties, which are actually full-time employees of different companies. They come and teach. Internship opportunities, like Sarah was mentioning, the work placements. So a lot of, especially in the undergraduate and also in the postgraduate sector that they have. And the last part is, look, you have 2 years or 1 year anyway to stay back. If you can't find a job in 24 months, it's difficult for you to find it forever. So, so all these together, I think Ireland is a great destination for international students.
Don't be disheartened. Of course, there are many opportunities. We just need to see which course is right for us with respect to our choices and with respect to the market requirement. As Aritra has mentioned, that there are multiple opportunities. Not just 1 or 2 courses are there. People need to buy the technology as well. So Ireland is going to be a hub soon. Shraddha, I'll come to you. You have been in hindsight or for a long time now. You're working with many different countries. You're in communication with many different students who are planning to go in different part of the world. If I talk about UK, Ireland, Australia, Canada, anywhere. What is the word on the street? How are people taking this September 2022 intake? Like, are they willing to go abroad as of now, or are they skeptical about it? Please share your thoughts.
Well, I think, Shefali, the world's response to the pandemic has been extremely varied in terms of, keeping the curve flat. Of course, uh, you know, based on the resources available and the actions taken by the government or public to minimize the infections, the different vaccination programs, and keeping all of that in mind, I think it has definitely helped people to extensively research. The pandemic, I think, gave people a lot of time to research, which would eventually lead to them making a very conscious decision. But while most I think countries haven't opened up for tourism and students, but of course, despite that, a lot of popular destinations like Ireland, UK, Europe have opened up and are now accepting students, and with tons of options to choose from, amongst your top choices. But I think overall, I think from my communication with my fellow colleagues, whether these are the consultants that we work with, a lot of university representatives, I think the response has been extremely positive. I think over 90% of Indian students are definitely eager, having had that 2 years break, to research a lot and to read about it a lot and to understand the different courses available and what different countries have to offer. The response has definitely been extremely positive.
Great. It's a good news to hear. Ashling, I'll come to you. Now, when we see that every year or every 6 months, there's a new variant coming. So, of course, this thing is not going very soon. What kind of safety protocols are placed at the properties over there?
So basically what we've done is we monitor very closely what's happening, with regard to the guidelines and stuff. And I'm sure you're aware, we've had some of the strictest and toughest lockdowns and criteria that we need to meet. But the benefit of all of that is that I'm sure you're aware, last Friday pretty much all of the restrictions were lifted. So basically what we've been doing is following exactly what the guidelines are. And in fairness, the students have cooperated. I think they understand how important it is, and that's basically what we've been doing. I just wanted to go back. The one thing you didn't mention about courses is in Beckett House, we've 400 students who live with us, and 60% of them are actually studying medicine or some kind of medical degree, either in the Royal College of Surgeons or Trinity. So again, I suppose there was a higher awareness of what's required, just to keep everybody safe. Now we do, of course, we've got hand sanitizers, we have all our notifications, we hand out masks, we do absolutely everything we can to ensure the safety of the students and keep COVID out of the building.
Great. And the number you mentioned about medical students is like huge. 60% is a very great number. So medical is also a course available, and Ireland is doing pretty well over there. I'd like to add one more question to your current thing. Is that, so while choosing an accommodation in Ireland, what kind of parameters a student should take care? Like what parameters, what checklist should be there for a student if they are looking for an accommodation in Ireland?
Sure. Well, the first thing they need to do is decide what they need, because the size of the room that they require is really important. And the second thing they need to decide is who they're going to live with. This is my biggest tip for the day. A lot of students decide to move in with a gang of friends. There's 10 or 12 of them. They all want an apartment together. They're all going to live happily ever after. My experience is that's not the case. And I would always say, go on the 50% rule. If the apartment that you're looking to get has 6 rooms in it, I wouldn't share with any more than 3 friends. It just experience, and trust me, it works. Now, book in the same building, and so that you can get to, you meet up and stuff like that. But that would be my hot tip for the day is it's all roses until, there's no old adage, you only know me when you live with me. So that would be my big tip.
Right.
That, it's all about location. Are you near to your college? Are you near to public transport? And the facilities. It's really important to make sure that whatever building you're in has super fast Wi-Fi. That is so important, especially in the virtual world that we're in. Then last of all is to make sure that there's no hidden costs. You know, are all of your utility bills, is everything included? And my second sort of insight or bit of advice is go with your gut feeling on how you interact with the people that you're inquiring about the accommodation. You know, they're the people who manage the building and they're the people you're going to live with. So if you don't get a good feeling when you're interacting with them, you know, that would give you an insight as to whether they're the kind of people you want to live with.
Trust your guts. That's what you mean, right? Right. And in fact, in regards to the friend suggestion, in last session of our ULTV, Aritra was there with us. He also mentioned the same thing, that just don't live with your friends. It's better to go meet other people, network and all that, right? I'll come back to you guys. Apeksha, I'll start with you. What kind of scholarship opportunities are available for international students?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Actually, all the international students are eligible for an merit-based scholarship at NCI. So any program, be it, you will be eligible for that. For September intake, as NCI has January and September both. So as September is the bigger intake, we have some additional scholarships for September. So one very popular scholarship which we give out, and that is only to a couple of international applicants, is a Future Leader Award, which is a 50% tuition fee waiver. So that's based on an overall profile. So everybody is eligible. We will check for some extra points, that have you worked anywhere before, or you have some extracurricular activities, interests and stuff like that. So everything is considered, and then we reach a point and then we actually pick a few people. So that's something which is a big scholarship, which is like a 50% tuition fee waiver. And sometimes we had something called Women in Business, and that was basically to promote females and in the field of business. So that was given out in the Jan intake. We're not sure if we'll stick to that in September, but like, this is an example, like we have some big scholarships and good opportunities to get the scholarships. Yeah.
Right. Ishita, Jasmine, Sarah, would you like to add something?
Yeah, I'll start.
Yeah.
So prior to TUS, we were at Sloan Institute of Technology, and we had different kind of scholarship. Now we have a revised structure. We have come up with better scholarships for international students. So these are country based as well. So taking India into consideration, because a lot of students are keen on coming to Ireland, we have introduced merit-based scholarship for all graduates as well as postgraduate students. And we do have a special scholarship for which is a President Scholarship for the working professionals. Sometimes, a student probably didn't score a lot of marks in his graduation or post-graduation, but he's got a lot of work experience and he wants to study in the relative field. So we do have special scholarship for those students as well.
Right. Jasmine?
Yeah, so for Dublin City University, one of the scholarships that we offer to our Indian students is called East International Academic Merit Scholarship. It is assessed on academic merit. So we look up at the undergrad profile. They look up at, the kind of work experience the student holds, how well the personal statement is drafted. So we look up at the overall profile for that scholarship. And the amount of scholarship is €2,000. And there is one scholarship that's actually offered by the Irish government, that's called the Government of Ireland Scholarship as well. So any student who's got an offer letter for any of the Irish institutes, any of the Irish university, can actually apply for that scholarship. The application for that scholarship is already open. The deadline is 25th of March. It gives 60 awards to PG, UG and PhD student, and it gives full tuition fees waiver along with a €10,000 stipend for 1 year. So that is one of the huge scholarship that's actually, available, and there's an opportunity for the students who are looking for Ireland as destination to apply for that scholarship. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Sarah?
Yeah, so I suppose, as Jasmine mentioned, the Government of Ireland Scholarship is a big one for anyone applying to Ireland, and students who are applying to Shannon College can apply for that one as well. We also have all of NUI Galway scholarships are available to students that are applying to Shannon College. And then we also have Shannon College specific scholarships. So there are scholarships that are for students only applying for our undergrad or postgraduate programs in Shannon. And they're actually based on a combination of things. So it's a combination of, I suppose, your academic merit, also the letter that you've written, so telling us why you deserve the scholarship, but also on your interview that you've done with us. So all of our programs in Shannon include an interview. So it gives you a good chance to sell yourself and to show us why you're the best person to get that scholarship. So they're the college specific scholarships that are open to students applying to Shannon College specifically.
Right. Thank you so much. Yashoda, you want to add something?
I was just looking at the questions. They just there's so many of them.
And I would like to request the attendees to please share your questions in Q&A, because chat becomes really longer, and we'll start addressing the questions as soon as possible. I have just one last question. Like, with this hybrid mode and everything, universities organize a lot of alumni fairs and conventions and all that. How you guys are managing that front? Jasmine?
Right. So when I talk about one of the initiatives that we have taken at Dublin City University, it's a virtual world. The kind of generation, this generation is tech savvy, everything is there on the phones and laptops. So definitely webinars is one thing that we do these days. So we at Dublin City University, we do an international webinar series, which will start from another month, that will go for 2 months. And where we talk about, different topics when it comes to Ireland, when it comes to Dublin City University, your post-arrival guidelines and your pre-departure briefings, then, visa and immigration pointers to keep in mind, accommodation. So webinar is definitely one thing that we keep on doing. Then there is a lot of virtual interaction that we have our students to have with our lecturers. Then we do a taste lectures kind of a session where the professors will actually talk to students and give them a brief that how actual lecture actually happens in Dublin City University. So these are one of the other initiatives that we have been doing. So everything is virtual. Students have an option if they want to get in touch with us on a one-on-one Zoom call, even that is a possibility. So they get in touch over Zoom calls. So these are most of the initiatives that we have been taking at Dublin City University.
Great. Ishita, would you like to add something to this?
Yes. So we this year too, we do have a plan set. It is similar to last year, which is we do organize series of webinars which are going to start this month, but they're going to be 2 sets where the HODs and the professors, they have a direct interaction with the students. We do have an offer holders meet also, that is before we end, the application session. We do organize that, wherein some offer letter holders, if they, they would like to attend and give it a chance, and if they would like to know more about it. So it's like a panel meet of all the HODs. And also, like, at the end of it, we did, it was successful for us. We did create, several WhatsApp chat groups with the Indian ambassadors. And there were different students who were added to different, in their relative, of course, the relative department. They were added, and, it was a question and answer session going on the WhatsApp as well. So it kind of gives a personal touch to the students. Also, sometimes they don't want to ask, over Zoom or Teams, Microsoft, like upfront. So they're very shy. So, it gives a platform to them to talk to the Indian ambassador and ask them, if they can also become one tomorrow. Yeah.
Right. Sarah, you want to add something? Any program over there?
I suppose you mentioned alumni, and our alumni actually did some really interesting things over lockdown. One of the things was that we started to do a weekly call with any alumni who would like to join. It happened once a week for 1 hour, and it was at the very start of the pandemic. So our alumni are scattered all over the world. So it was really interesting for people within hospitality, but also in other areas, to join the call and talk about exactly what was actually going on in the country that they were located. And there was a lot of learning that went on, from countries that were a little bit further ahead than us, things that we were doing that other countries maybe weren't doing, and a lot of learning came from that. They also organized a 6-week wellness webinar. So a number of our alumni organized different sessions. So they were online, and it was things like, you know, using healthy eating to improve your mood and to improve your well-being. There was mindfulness sessions that happened one of the weeks, lots and lots of different things that went on. And then we've actually also been able to have some alumni meetups, which has been really, really nice. So when restrictions have been lifted in between, there were some small gatherings in some of our alumni chapters. And I think that's something that's really nice. When people actually get to see each other again, it's always nice.
That's great. That's great. Apeksha, would you like to share some
Yeah,
stories from your place?
yeah, sure. Something similar to what they already added and what Sarah said. So we talking about the career support and what we did for the students when they actually arrived in college. So it was, we firstly have a 6-week long welcome program. So we make sure that everybody is welcomed very warmly, and we try to organize the coffee chats even virtually. So obviously the transition was not very easy for everybody, that meeting everybody in person to coming like for coffee chats virtually. But starting from there, also supporting them in terms of the job fairs, which used to be conducted in the college campus physically. But also there is a team called NCI Careers, which actually take care of the students, and from the time they land in NCI, they will be in touch with them and constantly checking that how are they doing in terms of the professional lives and also the academics altogether. So helping them with their LinkedIn profile or CV cover letters and stuff like that. So that starts even from the beginning. So these kind of things were very difficult virtually, as I said, but it's become a way of life. And also students are now enjoying to interact with each other and probably enjoying Teams also, So it's fine. So these are a couple of things out of the box. I mean.
And now I think we all have been pretty much accommodated to the new normal of ours.
Yeah.
It's not like we are still struggling with something.
Yeah.
And in fact, we are looking for new opportunities while doing all these conversations. And I think many introvert students in the college might have backed out with these personal interactions, but now when it is on WhatsApp and everything, they might feel more confident in interacting with their alumni and the concerned people. Before we dive into answer the questions, attendees, if you have any question, please ask in the Q&A, or if you want to add in the chat box only, then just go ahead and do it. We'll address all the questions after this particular question that I'll be asking Aisling. Aisling, there's one question which many of the students keep asking, that why should they go for a student housing rather than a shared apartment? You're on mute.
The main reason for me is the shared experience. So like the student housing is designed specifically for the needs of the student. And unlike a normal student or normal apartment, you've got designated study areas. Again, during lockdown, what we were able to do was, people could book them and go in on their own and get out of their bedrooms, so that was a hugely beneficial thing. Another benefit is that the leases for the student accommodation, they're geared to match the academic year. So you'd be very hard pushed to say, if you're just doing a single semester, to get accommodation in a normal apartment, whereas all of the student accommodations would be geared towards a single semester or a length of term that would match what the academic year was. Another benefit would be there's no hidden costs. So for example, with Aparto, what you pay for your license fee covers all your utilities, access to the facilities in the building, everything is covered. The only additional thing that you would have to pay is we have laundry rooms, and you would have to pay for your laundry. But again, it's at a very it's a low cost. It's even compared to sort of local laundries. A really good benefit, especially from the parents' perspective, is that you're dealing with a professional regulated landlord. So we're regulated by the Residential Tenancies Board. So any issues that you have, there is a way to deal with that. I couldn't tell you how many times students have come to me, international students, who, when they arrive, the pictures of the apartment don't match what's in front of them. We're regulated. What you see is what you get. And you have recourse of action, because, as I said, we're covered by the Residential Tenancy Board. And then the big thing is, especially for Aparto buildings, our team are there 24/7. So we have a facilities team who will, you know, they make it their point to get to know the students, and if anybody has any problems or they get into a bit of trouble, there's somebody always there to help them out. So that would be what I would think would be the serious benefits of purpose-led student accommodation.
Great points. Thank you for mentioning all these points. Of course, both of the properties have their own benefits. So you should definitely see that what is best for your need. So I'll start with the Q&A part. I'll start with the questions which are mentioned in the Q&A, and then we'll come to the chat box. This first question is, can you please talk about the work opportunities for FinTech, financial data, science students? Anyone who would like to take it? Ishita, Peksha, Jasmine, Aritra, Sarah.
Okay. Because we have done, you know, I shouldn't be saying we have, but I used to work for NCI for 7 years. So, you know, this keeps coming back. But I think, you know, NCI has a course in financial technology. And I think for not only for NCI, a lot of other institutions, UCC has a program on financial, you know, analytics. DCU has financial maths. I think if I can say, I think look at your surrounding, you know, it's only a world of fintech. It's nobody is using even a credit card nowadays. It's all UPI payments. And like China, nobody uses a credit card. Honestly, you know, it's only UPI. Whatever they pay, it's through different, you know, media platforms. So I think at one time, and because I've come from an economics background, you know, at one time in a clearinghouse function for a bank used to call another bank, just, hey, look, can I clear this check? But look at now. So every financial institution is completely tech heavy, tech dependent. What generally is taught in the financial analytics modules are, one is analytics. So you will teach about, you know, R, Python, these kind of languages. Second is blockchain, and third is capital markets, actual capital markets, how, you know, derivatives, option, put, call, you know, these things are taught in these programs. So when you get out of a program which is talking about finance and tech, you have, you know, best of both the worlds. And especially for Ireland as a destination, you see all big four accounting firms, big banks, big investment banks. They're all based in around, you know, Dublin or anywhere in Ireland. And the tech, you know, we all know that it's a tech hub. So I think if you can do a program like this, it's about the future, and it is going to stay for a while, this particular, you know, way of doing business in the world. So that will be my, you know, humble submission.
Thank you, Aritra. We'll take this session, we'll extend the session to 5-10 more minutes so that we can address the questions. We have a lot of questions. I hope it's okay with you guys, just in case. If you have any call to attend, thank you. You guys can drop if that's the case. Now I'll come to DCU. Jasmine, this question is for you, specifically for DCU. Siddhartha has written it very clearly. Do all the international students get a merit-based scholarship, or is it dependent on the top merit score of the applicants? Let's say I have got 75% in my graduation. So is it certain that I'll be getting a merit-based scholarship, or it is dependent upon the quality of the application received altogether?
Right. So this scholarship, the merit-based scholarship, is not a guaranteed scholarship for all the students. So there is no minimum benchmark in terms of percentage that we take into consideration. It is definitely dependent on the number and the quality of application we receive every year. So it is not a guaranteed scholarship. It depends on the overall profile.
Okay, thank you. Rohit has a question for Apeksha. I have been offered a conditional offer letter from NCI, and I wanted to apply for further leader scholarship, but it requires full offer letter. So when can I expect it, or should I apply for a conditional offer letter? Apply with the conditional offer letter.
All right, so they can apply with a conditional offer letter, but we have not introduced the scholarship as of now. So it is still like, I think 2 weeks far, and we'll introduce it and send the email to all the students. So once we do that, he has to fill a form and he can do that. We'll get back post that.
Okay, thank you so much. We have another question. Is there any difference between universities and colleges regarding job opportunities or about the courses? Anyone, Ishita, Aritra?
Sorry, what's that? Sorry, what's the question?
The question is there any difference between in university and college regarding job opportunities or about the courses? This is Rohit again.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
I don't mind taking it. Well, just because our name is Shannon College, maybe that was the reason.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I suppose for us, we're a part of NUI Galway, which is the National University of Ireland in Galway. And Shannon College is within the university where the College of Hotel Management, the College of, or the School of Hospitality. So we are a part of a university. For our college specifically, our undergraduate programs have a 100% employment record since we were founded in 1951. So long history of very good job opportunities for our students. So I don't think the word college has had any negative impact from our point of view anyway.
Right. Thank you so much, Sarah.
I think, I think just to add one more point, that this is a very Indian concept, because in India, it's all universities and then colleges. But in Ireland, it's not like that, because Ireland, they straight away say, I'm going to college, like be it National College of Ireland or the Institute of Technologies or universities. And just one liner for this, world's best institution is called MIT. It's the Institute of Technology, right? And they're not a university. And but if you choose any ranking, they're the top institution in the world. So I don't think there is a lot of difference between the college and university tag. It's about your profile, your hard work, and how well you can actually network. I went to a Russell Group University, and I thought, yes, that's the end of the entire game, because I've chosen the best institution. Oh, believe me, it was a hard toil for me to get even a job in Burger King. So it doesn't really matter whether you are going to a top-notch, top-ranked university or a college. I think it's about yourself and how well you adapt and accustom to that country and to their culture.
Right, very well said. Okay, we have other questions related to NCI again. So there are two. One is for cloud computing. Do you have placement for cloud computing, Apeksha? Number one question. And the second is again, what kind of job opportunities in fintech?
Okay. So the first thing, what we started the discussion with, that there is no campusing. So obviously, having said that, we do the job fairs, and it's not only for cloud or for data. It's for all the international students studying at NCI, whether they are from the business school. Also, they have the same opportunity to meet the employers coming into the the campus. And opportunities are definitely there, but it's an overall thing that we are speaking about. We are also speaking about what kind of background are you coming from, and what are the additional certifications if you've taken some work experience from your home country, and also how do you finish your course, how do you pursue the course that you're actually coming in this country to study. So everything together, we are there to provide the assistance, and that's what we are saying, that we were actually the winners when it came to student engagement and career impact strategy. So having the right amount of support provided from the institutions and all these things in places, I think anything is achievable. But as we say, it's also a land of opportunities. It's definitely, there are chances, but also there is competition. So be very wise in choosing the program. And of course, it's a very good field which is being identified, especially in terms of fintech that we are talking. Not a lot of people don't know about it yet, but it's definitely something that you should look forward to. So opportunity should not be a problem if you are following like all the things correctly. Yeah.
Great. I believe, Ajay, your question is also answered in regards to the data analytics part. Next question, Ishita, if you'd like to answer, can 6 band in IELTS and no band less than 6 can get any admission in Ireland, or should I try with another exam to get admissions?
I think it totally depends upon the university or the college, it's just a college. So it depends upon the institution you're actually applying to. For us, we accept 6 point for masters, since we've become a university now, we've kept it at 6.5 for the postgraduates and 6 for the graduate students. But yes, there are other options apart from IELTS. Ireland has opened up, it's not just IELTS like other countries, or just, you can give PD to There is no particular criteria for you need to have this much in listening or this much in speaking. So it's overall band which we accept. So try to obtain 6.5 or above, possible.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. We have another question. It's what's the scope for a business student in Ireland with respect to job and overall future in Ireland? I believe everyone has already answered this, but still, if somebody wants to recap that, anyone wants to recap that answer?
I think it depends on the university, as Ishita already said. So for NCI, if we have to look into the business programs, it should be a 6.5, no bands less than 6 when you're applying for any of the business courses.
Okay, thank you so much. We have one more question from Veer Raghav. Do we have any scholarship for 15 years work experience student? If yes, please enlighten me. Any scholarship for a 15-year work experience student?
The one which we have introduced at US, it's the work. Just a second, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. So the scholarships. I'm sorry. Yes. So the scholarship which we've introduced is for 5+ years of experience, and it doesn't matter like whether you have 15 or 5. If you are applicable for that, you'll get the maximum of scholarship. Yeah, for us.
Great. Thank you, Shita. One last question, I believe. And guys, if you have any other question, attendees, kindly you can email it to support@universityliving.com. We'll be happy to share it across with the panelists, or we'll be happy to address it if we can address it on our basis. The last question which we have today is, does NCI only accept IELTS score, or Duolingo is also accepted?
Duolingo is accepted.
Duolingo is accepted. Okay.
Yes, ET, TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo, all 4.
I hope, Siddharth, your question is answered. Thank you, Shraddha, for sharing the email address. So, okay, we have almost done on time. We are just 1 or 2 minutes late. It's okay. Guys, if you have any parting words before we wrap up the session, like few golden words from each of you. Sarah, let's start with you.
I suppose it's great to have so many of you on, and to hear so many of you are interested in Ireland as a study destination. I think if I was to say anything, I would say, please don't hesitate to pick up a phone or send an email to any of the representatives for the universities. We mentioned before that we pride ourselves in Ireland on being a friendly and welcoming country. So we're always more than happy to take any questions, any queries that anyone might have, and try to support you as best we can in making the best decision for you. So thanks so much for having me.
Thank you, Jasmine.
I think I would say that, our conversation with you doesn't end here. As just reach out to us if you need more information, you need to know more anything about scholarship, anything about Ireland. If you need to again ask about job opportunities or career opportunities, we'll be again happy to answer all your questions. So reach out to us, and yeah, we will be happy to be in touch.
Aisha.
Yeah, same here, guys. September 22 intake is open, so please feel free to reach out. And obviously the discussions can be in detail and very specific to your questions. So yes, please, thanks for giving us the opportunity, and we welcome you all actually.
Thank you, Ashita.
Yes. So I'd like to add a bit of stats here before leaving. So because when the students are planning to come to Ireland or any other country, the first thing they look forward is what are the career opportunities? Will I get placed or not? In Ireland, you can, because there are a lot of companies who have their European headquarters in Ireland across cities. As Aritra did mention that it's Dublin is Silicon Valley of Europe, so there are a lot of opportunities over there as well. Along with that, there are different cities and towns across the country. 8 out of the top gaming companies are there. There are all the pharma companies are there. There are 9 out of 10 ICT companies which are there, and the list goes on. So the employability rate is quite high. So we would love to welcome you to Ireland, and thank you so much for having me on the panel.
Thank you. Ashley?
I would just like to echo a little bit of what Sarah said about, as we said, we really do pride ourselves on being the land of a thousand welcomes. We're also very aware that this is a massive decision for somebody to make, and that all of the supports are here. And, we would be, we're delighted to, for you to reach out and talk to us. We'll do any amount of virtual tours, and we've lots of information, and we're happy to talk and talk and talk. This is a big decision, and we would love to be part of, the start of your big adventure to your successful career.
Thank you. Aritra?
I think, there is a saying that it's a warm, hospitable country. I'm not talking about the weather. I'm just only talking about hospitality. But there is an Irish way, and in India, like we talk about Punjabi hospitality or Mallu hospitality, in Europe, it's a common saying, it's Irish hospitality. So if you have chosen Ireland, or if you are still in the mix that which country to go, this is a fantastic country, not only for jobs and everything, but also you will remember, and this will be a life-changing decision for you. So choose wisely, choose Ireland,
Shraddha?
Well, I definitely first want to thank the panelists and the participants for taking out the time to attend this session, and also to the panelists for all your insights. The questions are amazing. I think it definitely displays a lot of interest among students to study in Ireland. And I think today we got all the reasons why one should. But I'd also like to take this opportunity to make an announcement with regards to scholarships, where University Living is taking an initiative to offer scholarships for international students going to UK, Ireland, Australia, and Canada. And I would request the students to keep an eye on our website and also our social media handles for the big announcement. Thank you, everybody, and thank you for giving me.
Thank you so much, Shraddha. Before we end, we have one last question. Jasmine, if you can address it. Does DCU also take Duolingo?
Yes, we do. We do exactly that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Siddharth. I hope your question is answered. Thank you so much to everyone, and thank you, Shraddha, for the announcement. And as Rohit asked about our next webinar, our Ireland webinar soon will come again. It's just another webinar for Ireland. We are coming up with a webinar for Australia on 4th of February, and we do a ULTV session. You can check our YouTube channel for that. You'll find a ULTV over there, Study Abroad 101s. We will find Aritra also. So guys, keep just checking, keep an eye on our social media platforms. You'll find a lot of information with respect to IELTS, TOEFL, any exam, with respect to universities, with respect to accommodation, of course. Thank you so much for everyone for joining. Thank you so much, panelists, for taking out your time and joining us over here. Thank you.
so
Take
much.
care. Bye. Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.